Okay. Welcome, everyone, to another way to think about it, where we explore ideas, we explore stories and perspectives that really invite us to look at life just a little differently with humor, with curiosity, maybe some tears sometimes. And I'm Cynthia Zeito.
And also a lot of laughter. I'm Lynn Kindler. Welcome. Today's guest has spent more than 20 years helping people navigate everything from trauma and transformation to intuition, purpose, and what she beautifully calls remembering who we truly are. She blends psychology, spirituality, leadership, sound healing, gene keys, Kundalini practices, and somehow manages to make all that feel incredibly grounded and human. I can vouch for that. But more than anything, she's someone who reminds people that they're not broken. They're simply being invited home to themselves.
Oh, man.
Linda Galvan, we're so happy to have you here.
Yay.
Woo! Thank you so much.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes, let's get into it.
All right. Behind, like your titles and your certifications and all the things out there, who is Linda? Like what has life been teaching you lately?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Well, it's interesting. I have always, regardless of, titles have always been a struggle for me because I don't identify with the titles.
Yeah.
The outside world wants those. So I put them out there.
Amen, sister.
But I don't really, it's not my thing. I do it because that's kind of like the thing you're supposed to do. So I don't really even identify with those titles. I've always been just Linda, I'm just Linda. I do these things that help people. And I love that all the things that I am offering really do support people. And I love doing it as well. So when it comes to just me, Linda, I enjoy the typical things I think a lot of people enjoy. I love nature. I love animals. I love to read. I like writing. I enjoy going to the movies. It's like, I'm like a really normal person. And it's really funny because my clients, I don't know what they think. It's so funny because I have had clients literally tell me that they have this crazy idea in their mind that I have this just divine, perfect life where I have no struggles because somehow I have the answer to everything.
I see.
Not true. I mean, I have just as many struggles as someone else has. And I do have tools that I share with my clients. It's so interesting that sometimes I forget to use them on myself.
You mean you're human?
I'm just
a
normal gal who, I love what I do. I think I do have a unique set of gifts that help people. So in that way, I'm a bit of a weirdo, woo-woo. But, I love the divine. I love spirit. I love everything about, life and being in life.
Yeah.
And yes, it can be so much of a struggle. Absolutely. Just the normal human experience. That's what we're here to experience. So I am that. I'm no different from anyone else out there, actually, in so many ways, other than I might have some interesting different beliefs about some things that might make people go,
Okay.
Welcome to our world, Linda.
Yes. Amen, sister. Amen. Talk about that. Really talk about that world that I liken what your bio, when you look at that you've like walk in both worlds, the psychological and the spiritual. You're in a material world. So and that they're not separate or something, or are they? Or talk about that.
Yes. Well, it's very interesting because I think that was a struggle for me early on. This whole walking between the worlds, but then I realized that's actually my gift. That is why my soul is here, to walk between the worlds and put my hand out and say, hey, I know you're on the other side of the bridge and it looks scary, but give me your hand and I'll help you cross to the other side of awakening. And so I realized that my early life was all on the other side of the bridge, like everyone else, not asleep, not realizing, the higher beautiful realms of light that exist in our world, many multi-dimensions of beingness in this world that most people aren't aware of.
Yeah.
And as I went through my dark night of the soul, all of that started to awaken for me. And from that place, I realized, oh, I understand why I had to go through all these struggles, because everyone out there is going through these struggles. And how am I supposed to understand and help them cross the bridge to the other side if I haven't gone through it?
Yeah.
And so I did have to go through very specific dark nights of the soul to be able to actually understand that suffering and be able to then help people figure out how to get over the bridge.
That
And
is beautiful.
That Earth School, Linda?
say what?
You mean you've done well in Earth School?
Yeah, yeah. Did well in Earth School, I guess. I'm doing the best I can.
It can
Well,
be
you know,
messy.
it's
3 days, but hey.
supposedly, from everything that I've heard and read, Earth School, we select this before we even come down here, our curriculum. Yes, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to learn this, and then we bink into who we are. And, right?
Yes. Well, here's what I tell my clients. So when my clients are having a real struggle in their life, and this is typical of, I think, the profile of the clients I work with, I say, you're just a high achieving soul. You really wanted to get a lot done.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
So this is why, you know, you have all these challenges that have hit you in your life, because you're like, I want to just get it done. I'm ready to go to whatever that next level is.
Yeah, let's evolve off of this
Yes.
plane.
Yes.
know?
And so that's why sometimes our lives are really challenging, because from that perspective on the other side, we're like, oh, that's going to be easy. No big deal. I can do that. We
Of
come
course.
down here into the human world and we're like, uh-oh, we forgot how dense it is here and how really hard it is to get through what seems simple on the other side, but
Yeah,
here can be
that's right.
quite challenging.
You know
So-
what, Linda? This is kind of off a little bit, but years ago, I talked to Michael, the archangel. The reason I rolled my eyes is because it seems like everybody does, and I felt like it's very sacred for me. But anyway,
Yes.
driving through that place on Zilker Park, right as you come across the river, where Robert E. Lee or whatever it's called now
Yes.
goes up.
Yes.
And there were lights in the trees and stuff. And I just all of a sudden, and Cynthia knows this, I started having that feeling like oneness with everything. I wanted to merge with everything. I was consumed with love. And all of a sudden I was talking to Michael and I was like, oh my God. And he's like, he was just, you know how when I get information, it's like getting a download. And so I have to kind of think about it because it's a lot of different voices and stuff. But anyway, basically, to enjoy our time here on earth when we're here, because there's so much beauty. I mean, that intense love that I felt, that is a very rare thing, evidently. In different realms, there's love, but it's different.
Mhm.
And so the very thing that we can feel so much pain is the very thing that helps us feel so much love.
Absolutely.
Talk to that.
So what you just said is really beautiful. There aren't many souls that have had that experience of, you know, just being immersed in this field of divine love. I had that experience once. It lasted for about 3 days, and it was unbelievable. I've never had that experience since, but it was happening during that dark night of the soul when I was going through my first divorce. And I mean, I was on this high that I cannot describe. I mean, it truly was like, oh, is this what it means to love everyone and to love yourself? And you're just driving down the road and you just love everything.
Yes.
But it is a very rare experience. And I feel that sometimes the divine just kind of throws you a bone and says, look, it's going to be okay.
Grace, baby,
Here's
grace.
what divine love really feels like. Here's, you know, we're going to just let you feel it so that you can keep going. And so I do feel that sometimes we're gifted that experience.
I agree.
So that we realize there's something more than just the mundane struggles we're having in our ordinary life every day. And so it is a gift, I think, when someone has that experience. I feel it.
Yeah, it is. That's cool that you had it for 3 days, because mine are like, it's like all of a sudden I'm eavesdropping into the divine, and it'll happen at like weird times, like driving my car, going somewhere in the neighborhood next to us at a stop sign, and all of a sudden it's like, I just want to make love, and I want to merge everything. It's just like exquisite love. And
Oh,
it lasts for maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
wow.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I have mine at different times too. Like I'm within, I'm present, I am focused. Anything could be happening out here. It doesn't even matter. I could be in a room meditating with lots of people and it doesn't matter. I'm within and I'm just in love. Now,
Ugh.
Lane, I love that because, but when I'm going through my shit, even then I can still feel that feeling. And
Yes.
I think what if I'm not mistaken, each one of us we love love, we love God, we love other human beings so much that I think that, and we're all on a path, on our own path. Anyway, keep going. I could
No,
just
you're Cynthia, you're right. I think that we're all uh not just lovers of love. It's like we see the potential. We see the potential in everything. We see through the divine eyes how it
yes.
is to love everything,
Just
right?
because there it may be a shit show somewhere over here or within ourselves for a moment,
Right.
there's it's weird. You just
Yeah.
know that you're okay, that there's something else like
Yes.
that.
Well, it's interesting what you mentioned, both of you. I usually will. So if a client is in a really just challenging moment,
Yeah.
I will ask them, let's look at this with spiritual eyes. So
Mm.
there's your human eyes and what you're seeing, right here. And then there's the spiritual eyes. I said, so what does it look like from a spiritual perspective? And then all of a sudden, a peace, a centering comes to my client because they're like,
Mm.
oh, there's a higher purpose for this.
Uh-huh.
It's not just some random crap happening to me. There's a higher spiritual purpose for the experience. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
once you look at it from that higher spiritual perspective,
Mhm.
it brings more peace to you and it starts to feel more like, okay, I can get through this because it makes more sense now. A lot of times, just from our human logic, our experiences don't make sense.
The
And that can
people Okay. The people that come to you, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go
The
ahead.
people that are attracted to your work, are they already spiritual people or can they just be like 8 to 5? They're raising kids. They're just regular
8 to
schmo.
5 people aren't spiritual.
Hey, you be quiet now. And they just want more in their life. They don't know that it's a spiritual trajectory that we're all
Right.
on. But
Right. I have had every type of client, from atheists who didn't believe in anything spiritual to hardcore Catholics to people who are full on woo woo metaphysical. I mean, runs the gamut.
mhm.
What I say to everyone who's interested in working with me is that you would never have heard of me or my name or been in any way guided to reach out to me if for some reason I believe spirit didn't send you my way, because there's something that I have as far as my gifts go that can assist you or support you with whatever's going on in this moment. Even if it's just maybe just one session and I never see you again. Doesn't matter. It's like I really do believe that it's not random if people find me. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter what their spiritual background is, what their foundation is. I can work with anybody because the truth is we're all divine, beautiful souls. And I come from that perspective. So it doesn't matter their belief system. Now, if of course there's something about their belief system that's making their life really difficult,
Then you
that will
gotta do
be
you
intention and it
okay,
will be
so
addressed.
all right, you address it though, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm actually, yeah, it's so interesting because I tell people I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. We go straight to it. And so if you're not ready for that, then you probably won't hear about me or we'll have a conversation, but you'll be like, whoa, I'm not ready yet because you may not be ready to look at what's ready to change. And that's okay too. Your system has to be ready before you can really allow the transformation to happen. Otherwise, you'll just sabotage it.
Mhm.
I tell people,
That's
when you're
true.
ready, I'm here.
You know what? And Linda, let me ask you this. If you have this experience or you can speak to this, and Cynthia knows me, I have to be careful because I I want to get in the way of everything, just like I'm excited, and I see what's happening and everything. And it's kind of like God's time. But
Right.
here's the thing. It's not sequential. In my head, it would be like, okay, you go through this thing and you go through this thing. But if the divine decides, oh, you know what? I think you're ready. I could be talking to somebody and there could be that divine shift that happens like,
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
right?
Isn't
Yes.
that cool?
It can be literal quantum spiritual shifts with, a soul that's ready. Like you said, you can be like from hardcore struggling and then immediately within a session, everything shifts because
Yeah.
the one word, the one idea, the one thought, the one perspective shift or reframe, and then they get it. I've had that experience many times. It's beautiful when it happens.
Yes. Yeah. And
I have a lot of that when I go to bed in prayer about something that's just really heavy on my heart, like the other night, Lane, that stuff. I wake up just clear as heck and I own my stuff. And it's just amazing. And I think
Yes.
at sleep, there's something that happens anyway to us. He's like guiding us. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
There's so much that
yeah.
happens during our sleep. And I think it's so important that people, before you close your eyes every evening, prayer's beautiful, meditation's beautiful, or just a beautiful, simple intention that you want to be wrapped in the divine's love and grace as you sleep, and whatever needs to be worked on, you give permission so that you wake up the next day in a new with a new light and a new view of the world.
Mhm. Yeah.
hey, Linda, I was listening to Rainn Wilson, who's a Baha'i.
Yes.
And I think I need to re-listen to this episode, but there was something cool about, the Baha'is, we have a prayer that we're guided to say once every 24 hours. It's a short prayer. And what he's done is this is what I remember, learning to work with that voice in our head that's not good or bad. It's just spouting things off.
Yes.
Whenever he becomes aware of that voice, he does the obligatory small prayer. And he gets a habit of doing that to like shift the way
Yes.
that voice is working.
Oh, wow. I love that
yeah.
idea. I love that idea.
cool.
I usually tell my clients is that, interesting, I was having a session with a client just recently, and, a lot of my clients are very smart, intelligent people. So it has nothing to do with your intelligence, your smarts, as to why you're struggling with something. And so for many of them, because their mind is so strong, they go into these loops and ruminations and negative thinking and patterning that really isn't them. And so I usually tell people, notice what's going on in your mind, because your mind is not the boss.
That's right.
And so step back and ask the mind to stand behind you or to sit in a recliner behind you and relax and have a Mai Tai while step in and do what you need to do. And so I also tell them another thing they can do is visualize their mind as a small puppy that needs to be on a leash. And so you don't let the mind go where it wants to go. You are in control of what you think. So when your little puppy mind decides to go in a direction that's not serving you, you just pull on the leash, go, nope, we're not going that direction. We're going to go this direction.
God.
That's right.
Oh my Lord. I love that, Linda. Yeah, because that's
It's a very intrusive thought. I just say out loud, stop. Like literally.
That's right.
okay.
Just stop and then rethink. Like, oh, look at the pretty green leaves out there. Oh, I hear the birds. You just shift to something completely different, and it will shift you out of that mind state and out of the vibration that you're stuck in. But you have to touch it first.
God, that's so much.
Ask Cynthia, come on. What do you want to ask?
So I love this. I love this topic because I personally work this daily. And right now, let's say with my husband, we're in this together anyway, I won't even go into that. But so many people today, Linda, they're fucking exhausted.
Oh, yes.
They're overthinking. They're in their heads. They're trying to fix it themselves. They're anxious. What's one gentle shift that can, really help them immediately, like come back to themselves?
Yes. Oh my God, there's so many. So
Yeah.
one of the most simple ones that doesn't require you to have any kind of accoutrement of any sort is your breath. Like
Mm.
literally close your eyes and go, okay. And literally visualize yourself. I'm going to just step back for a moment and I'm just going to breathe. And you just take a couple of very long, deep breaths because breath immediately shifts the mind.
Mm.
It does. It will shift your brain chemistry because all of a sudden you have more oxygen
That's true.
into your brain. So breathing is a very quick way to actually shift. The exhaustion, a lot
Mhm.
of people, well, there's a lot of reasons for exhaustion, but one of them is the overthinking. Your mind is trying to figure it out. And the truth is,
It's
the
never
mind
gonna.
can't figure out life.
It cannot.
That's just the bottom line. I
It
mean,
cannot. Right.
it can't. So the most important thing you can do is go, okay, let me take a breath. My mind needs to rest because it's exhausting me. So instead, I'm just going to breathe for a moment and literally just let my mind rest. The minute you open up that space, miracles can happen. A divine download, an inspiration, an idea, the solution comes to you because you finally put the mind out of the way. So whenever I start a session, I will actually set the intention that my ego and my personality and my mind step to the side so that I
Linda,
follow read.
Yeah. Yeah.
so I
Beautiful,
wondered,
honey.
when I started therapy eons ago, one of the things I loved was the good voice that started coming into me finally after having nothing but negative voices.
Yeah.
And something in all that I learned, and I know because of the education you've had, you can probably speak to this from that angle, but I was just wondering, uh, lately what I've been trying to do is think, okay, so what is that voice? Is that voice something that was created inside of us humans to keep us protected from the saber-toothed tiger? And it's still in there and it's still trying to save it from us.
Right.
And it's not evolved, but the evolution can come with us acknowledging it, identifying it, working with it, saying thank you so much for being here, for keeping me from being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. But here's the way that I would like to evolve. I wonder what would happen if we got real conscious of that.
Right. So that voice can come from a lot of different places. Yes, it can come from the part of our limbic system that feels threatened and feels that it needs to survive and it's in fear. So if something triggers you to go into a fear response, a panic response, etc., you will go into those kinds of fear thinking, etc., negative thinking, etc. But a lot of that actual negative patterning comes from our family systems.
You're right.
It
Absolutely.
comes from our family, what we were told in school, even things that were never said out loud, but thought by our family system.
Mm.
We energetically, and then we think it's us. We own it as ours when really it was a patterning and what I call an imprint that got imprinted into you sometimes at such a young age you don't even remember. And
Yeah.
so that imprint pattern then ends up taking over at some point whenever you go into fear, anxiety, etc. And so that becomes like your kind of go-to response for yourself. And so you have to get down to, okay, the origin of where it came from. And that's what I do with my clients. We get to the origin. Where did this voice
That's right.
Does it belong to your mother, to your father, to your ancestors? Who does it belong to? And usually the client will immediately get the answer like, oh my God, it's my dad. Or, oh my God, that's my mother's voice. Or, oh my gosh, that was something that my whole family said all the time. You know, like they'll get to a place where they realize that's where it comes from.
Mm.
But they don't remember the moment they owned it as theirs. That's what we have to clear. That's what we have to no, that's not who you are. It doesn't even belong to you. You inherited it. And it's not like family is wrong. You know, they inherited it. So we don't blame anyone for it. We just go, oh, it's time to disconnect that. That's not my voice. It's not authentically me. So I let it go. And, you know,
how is that similar to somatic therapy? Like what I've learned in somatic therapy, which I hate because I'd much rather analyze it and figure it out in my head than to feel it in my body. But the way that I've experienced somatic therapy is you go back with that feeling in your body, where do you remember it until you get to the genesis? Those two things, that what you're talking about feels similar to that.
It is similar. You can use by both ways. In fact, usually I will incorporate both. I'll ask my client, where do you feel this in your body? And then let's just dive into that energy. And the energy, we start to see the origin of it and where it came from. And that was the place where the person put it to store it, because they don't know where else to put it. So
that's good. I love it. Yes.
In our body somewhere. I mean, we do that. Our bodies are a whole recorder.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Right. That's
every
why
cell, every piece of tissue, every organ, it has memory. You know, in brain research, they realize that there's not any one place where memory is held in the brain. We think it's in the brain. No, it's our whole body. It's our energy field too.
It is.
There's crystals in our whole body, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, Cynthia. What question? Open.
I love this. I could talk for hours and then have a glass of wine, and Lynn can have her water. I'm just kidding. I love you. And you know, so okay. So you work with intuition, right?
Yes, I use my intuition as part of the work that I do. Yes.
Okay. How do we know the difference, the layout there between intuition? In other words, is it fear? Is it wishful thinking? Is it just you want some tacos? I don't know. You know, I'm kidding, but you know, like that. Like, how do you gauge your intuition and being spot on? Because intuition can be a little faulty. It can. It really can. If a person's clogged up in a lot of different ways, this is my interpretation because I can only speak from my own experience. If I have so much going on, I cannot trust fully my intuition.
Right.
So, but I live in that energy, and so does Lynn too. We live in that energy field without knowing. Anyway.
Well, it's so interesting you're asking that question, because I'm going to be completing my last class on radical intuition that this Tuesday. So anyway, all my classes are recorded if people are interested in that. But in this,
so cool, Linda.
Talking about exactly this question is part of the helping us to be what I call discerningly intuitive. Discerningly intuitive. That's a difference. So when you are in your discerning intuition, it's not wrong. In fact, intuition in general is never wrong. What is wrong is all the noise. So we have to first clear off all of the noise in the outside world, including the noise within us, so that we actually can hear and sense our intuition correctly. So you're right. Sometimes we sense or receive an intuitive hit and it seems off, right?
Right on.
Because the noise, and the mind gets in the way of the intuition, and then we get confused. So one of the hardest things, I think, for anyone is to be able to discern what is their true intuition and what is their mind. So one of the quickest tests, and it's quick, it first hit within the first 3 seconds. Anything after that, you can't trust it because your mind already has gotten involved. Your intuition is faster than your mind. So if you sit there and you start thinking about it and rolling it over in your head, you've already, kind of messed up the purity of the initial hit. Because now your mind is thinking and the logic is coming in. Intuition is not logical. They're in completely different camps. Intuition is a divine guidance that sees way beyond what you see. So sometimes you get a hit for something and it doesn't make sense. So people will say, well, I got the hit that I needed to go do this, but nothing came with it.
Yeah.
Also, Linda, we can eavesdrop.
Right. It's because my timing was off. Right, but the timing was off.
So let me ask you something. My sponsor in AA Al-Anon called me on something one time. I don't know if this is intuition. I don't know what this is.
Okay.
I'm just going about my day in the afternoon, and all of a sudden, this was really back in the 90s, and they were doing a lot of research on AIDS and the cure for AIDS. And all of a sudden, my mind's just playing around, and I'm seeing this Asian guy, and we're in a lab, and we're looking at, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing like this flower thing, and it's like this, and there's a nucleus inside of it. And anyway, I was just like, afterwards, I was like, what was that? What am I supposed to? Because sometimes I will get these things that are like, what am I supposed to be doing with that? And what my sponsor told me is, Lynn, I think sometimes you hide that, or you eavesdrop in on somebody else's stuff. But shortly after I had that, there was an article about Paul Chu coming up with some stuff and the way they described it. And I was like, holy cow.
Wow. Yeah. Because more than likely, if you were working closely with this person or in the same, environment with them, you may have picked up on what was in the field. Okay. So there is an energetic, or a quantum field around around everything. I mean, we live.
I didn't know him at all.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I'm in my.
Yeah.
Oh,
doesn't matter. You were in his presence, or you were somehow connected in that moment.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so we're in, like right now, we're in each other's quantum field.
Okay.
So we could pick up on each other's stuff in some way, because we're in each other's field right now. And sometimes that stuff just drops in and you don't know where it came from or what it is. I mean, you could be at a grocery store and all of a sudden have this weird thought or strange feeling in your body. Well, because you just walked in through somebody else's quantum field and picked up something.
Yeah.
Right? That's the psychic aspect of all of us. We all have that.
Yes, we do. We do.
The intuitive part is higher. That I feel is more coming from spirit. It's like your higher self going, psst, hey, and giving you information that comes from a higher realm than our physical world. And so that's where I feel, if we listen to our intuition more, we would literally have a divine, I call it our divine GPS.
That's cool. I like that.
Our divine, it tells us where we need to go if we listen, like if we really listen. So when I'm doing mentorship with people, I say, look, if your intuition says something, just listen and obey, even if it makes no sense, and just see what comes of it. I have had people who had one session with me literally 10 years ago. Fast forward 10 years later, I get a call from them, or we'll have another session after so long, and they'll be like, when we first had our session, I thought everything you said was a bunch of BS. I just and then they tell me everything has come to pass of the things you've told me over these last 10 years. I didn't know at the time that the intuitive things that were coming in were so far ahead for that person.
Yeah.
I'm listening and sharing, because sometimes we do need to hear things, even though it may be 10 years from now. But
true.
It's like awakening. It's like a seed that's being planted in the soul to remember, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that at some point.
It's like remembering.
Cool.
That is beautiful. I think that was kind of one of the questions we had, is like remembering who you are. Like you keep bringing people back to who they are over and over and over again. And we got to be reminded. Sometimes you're just like, what? But it comes to fruition, right? Anyway, that's so fascinating. I was going to say something. I wanted to ask you a question.
You were going to ask.
What?
And also, you help people remember who they really are. What causes them to forget?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, our world. Are you kidding?
The material
world.
You mean
everything. Social media, the movies, all the distractions. I mean, my God, in the Western world, there is every way that it is using to help us forget the truth of who we are, that we're sovereign divine beings, and that we are holy and sacred. I mean, everything teaches us opposite that. And this is why learning intuition is radical, because it's saying, I am not going to listen to or believe the outside world and all of the propaganda it's saying or mentioning, because that's not my truth. Yeah. And so when we step into this place of, I know who I am, I'm a sovereign being created by a higher divine, source, whatever you want to call it, God, whatever that is for your belief system. Yeah. And you realize that you were born sacred, you were always born worthy, you were always enough, you always will be, and you don't allow the noise to tell you otherwise,
Yeah.
You become so powerful that you cannot be controlled by the outside world.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
what the
Let's
man.
go do it.
outside world wants
Jesus.
to believe
That's powerful.
lies so that we can be controlled by and influenced by things that are not truth and they're not good for us as humanity and as a human. So
You go, sister. Woo! No,
So
I'm
that is
serious.
my greatest teaching. It's like, don't forget who you are. And a lot of what we think we are based on lies and illusions and patterning and wounding of the past. So my job is to clear it all off so that you got finally look in the mirror going, there you are. Hi.
You know what, Linda? Let's talk about this. So one thing that's interesting about being in my 60s and heading on out of them is that, I think that started when I was in my 50s. I started waking up and looking and going, what was all that? Where you're all caught up in the biology of being human, gotta procreate, gotta reproduce, and then all this stuff. And then looking at it and going, what the hell? Like we're all caught up in all of that, right? And then it's interesting being our age and being spiritual. And now it's like, okay, the rubber, you really got to really step into the spiritualness because certainly in the Western world, it says you're old, you're not going to be. I actually went to lunch with a very good friend that I worked with for many years that said, well, when you get to our age, you become invisible.
Oh yeah, that's a unfortunate belief that we have in this world. It's very unfortunate because it's not the truth. But if you believe it, guess what?
You'll be right. Yeah.
Well, I think also,
forward to those beliefs.
yeah, I think as you age too, you do question, your purpose. You do, when you retire, whatever, you do start questioning, okay, what's next? It's not just my grandkids, it's my new wife, like Jim's going through that right now. Well, I go through that at times too, thank God. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, how do you recharge? One, two, do you find that you recharge? I mean, okay, let me take that back. Do you need your alone time a lot more than not? I'm serious because I'm very much like that, but I love people when I'm ready.
Right.
Yeah, I can only do that. Otherwise, I'm like depleted. I feel everything, which is mine to protect, not
Right.
because they're here, or I walked into a grocery store like we were talking about a minute ago. Like that kind of stuff. I noticed that I actually avoid people and groups now, and I don't want to. Not a lot, but
well,
so
that's
tell me.
part of the awakening process. I see this pattern all the time. I have been through it and still, to this day, it's like I can only take so much of the outside noise.
Yes.
I can only take so much because we are becoming more divinely sensitive beings. As we start to evolve and open to higher levels of consciousness, we become so sensitive to things that we were desensitized to when we were younger. And especially if we're on a spiritual path and we're wanting to continue our conscious evolution and awakening, and we're doing the things to heal and to grow, we become more sensitive over time. So
that's right.
Literally cannot, there's certain types of movies I cannot go see anymore.
Me neither.
I don't own a television. I can't do the television thing. The energy of it just is too much. Right now I'm all into soccer, but I can only take so much of it.
Oh my gosh.
Around it is a lot. My husband wants to go to the bar because he was a soccer player. He wants to go to the bars to go watch, the
Jim too.
Whatever, all the stuff. And oh my gosh, I end up picking up all of this heavy.
Of course you do.
And then I come home and I'm feeling horrible and crappy, and I have to do all this cleansing to clear all the energy off, because as we get more sensitive, we sometimes almost get a little more sticky and stuff sticks to us.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
aware. So when you ask the question, how do you take care of yourself?
Right.
You have to have your alone time, your nature time, your relaxation, your do nothing time. This is so
Yeah.
important, especially for women. With
Yeah.
do nothing time, to just literally do nothing. And
You
be
know
okay.
what, Linda? I just got a hit that we have a big, huge pool in our yard. And anyway, I just got an intuition hit that was, Lynn, you should go jump in the pool because it's exposed to sunlight all the time, and you will
Yes.
Yeah.
actually cleanse everything off by doing that.
Yes. Water is really great for that. Natural bodies of water, rivers, ocean, just being at the beach can cleanse and clear the aura. But anything where you are consciously like visualizing divine light, washing everything off that is not yours and getting back to center. So prayer, meditation, all of that is critical to taking care of yourself and not continuing to expose yourself to energy that doesn't really support you. So, if you need to be more alone most of the time, that's okay. And you
That's
just
okay.
explain that to your closest friends, get it.
Yeah.
And especially your closest friends more than likely are more like you, so they get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Hey, with limited, socialization. Whereas those that don't get it might start to judge you, and maybe those are the people that you just are not, they get to fall away. And that's what happens as part of our evolution. I have clients who are like, "Oh my God, all my friends are disappearing." I said,
That's
"Yeah, because they don't match your
anymore. Right.
or it's
Oh,
not anything that they're doing anything wrong or you're not doing anything wrong. It's the fact that you are evolving beyond them. And that's
mhm.
okay. That's part of evolution. And it could be that they are evolving too, just at a different speed. And it could be that some of them will come back around years from now.
I've had that happen.
It happened, yeah, with me, people who I thought would never leave my life. All of a sudden they've come back around at a different level and now we're a match. Aesthetically. So it's part of the evolutionary growth of those of us that are.
Okay, Linda, isn't it true that as spiritual beings, there's groups of spiritual beings that we have traveled together in many, well,
Like soul family.
evolutions?
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
I've definitely heard that. I definitely sense that to be true. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know absolutely, but definitely based on, some of the experiences I've had in sessions with people. Absolutely. I do feel that we sometimes travel in soul families, or as part of an oversoul group, because that's just, there's a whole belief system or a understanding that there's a thing called an oversoul, and that oversoul sends down to earth many, many different what we call individual souls. And those individual souls are part of that soul family, but they're actually one oversoul, one
Yeah, I get that.
soul with many rays coming down into the earth and then having interactions with each other. It's almost like a mirror of the bigger soul looking at itself so that we can heal.
This is so
Sometimes we
beautiful.
don't know what's going on with us until we get a mirror that shows up and shows us some
Right.
aspect that we were asleep to.
By the way, sometimes those mirrors are people that you're like, ugh, eh.
Oh,
Oh, God.
'cause it's
Okay, so girls, does that mean the person that shall not remain nameless, who's I could come up with so many bad ways of describing that person. Is that a mirror?
yes, to some aspect of our self, or it's asking us to grow beyond that lower way of responding to another being. And being
Wow.
able to see something beyond just the surface. Because every person, every soul isn't just what you see here. There's so
No.
beyond that. And especially when they're projected in the media a particular way, you don't see all of the multi dimensions of a person ever. I mean, ever. Because, in this kind of social world, you only present what is socially acceptable or not acceptable or whatever that might be. And it's manipulated all the time. So we don't really know the truth of another soul until we decide to actually personally get to know them. So we can have all kinds of judgment about it, but that judgment is not, it's not based in truth.
No, that's why I have such a hard time, like around certain family members that really judge other people in the family. I can't even go there anymore. I mean, I judge, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, seriously, like, put them down and really degrade them. I think that's horrible because everybody's got a story. Something's going on. Anyway,
Right. Well, it's
can we
triggered.
try to rise above the fucking
Yes.
fray here, please? Just a little
Well,
bit.
that judgment is actually of ourselves. It's
Yeah.
it's the
Isn't
person seeing the dark shadow side of someone else that they have within themselves that they've not owned, that they have pushed away or said, I'm not like that. Well, we all have a dark side. We all have
Right.
all aspects of the dark within us. And it's not wrong. It's for us to know that, okay, that's a part of me. Let me own that honestly.
Just
Doesn't
like
mean I have to
great
behave that way.
Hey,
What's
Linda,
that?
just like every great painting, you have to have some shade and some shadowing, right? To add depth.
The dimension and depth, exactly. Someone who's just all light. Do you
Yeah.
trust someone who's all that? No. You're like, they're just like, there's got to be more there. There's got to be more, depth. So the thing is that our shadows give us depth. It doesn't mean we have to let our shadow rule us. We have to be in enough awareness to go, the shadows are here. And this is coming from the perspective of the Gene Keys. So Richard Rudd, who is the founder of the Gene Keys, he is he's my only major male mentor. And I've learned so much from that work. And in that work, the shadow is not wrong and it's not bad. It's part of a soul's growth. In order for us to get to our gifts, we have to walk through the shadow. So it's important that we look at it, own it, embrace it, and go, okay, this is an aspect of me that within the shadow is contained the gift. So if you can't own your shadows, you can't own your gifts, period.
Okay. On that note, if someone that's listening to this podcast feels disconnected from, let's say, themselves right now, today, as they're listening, what's one practice they could begin like now, this afternoon?
Well, disconnection has a lot to do with distraction. So
Distraction.
First thing you do is get rid of all the distraction for a moment. Turn off the television, turn off your phone, turn off everything, maybe go into nature, maybe go, somewhere that you've not gone before that is unique to you. It could be a park you've always wanted to visit, something along those lines, and get quiet with yourself and notice what comes up. A lot of people don't want to do that because they don't want to start hearing all that's coming up. They're trying to run from
That's true.
themselves. So they do everything to disconnect. They don't realize they're doing that, but they're using every kind of distraction to actually stay disconnected from themselves because they actually
Right.
don't want to be connected.
Yeah.
This
that's
is
so
where
true.
you have to step back and go, wait a minute. Why do I not want to be connected with what about me am I pushing away or rejecting? Why am I wanting to be so disconnected from myself? What's so wrong about me that I have to do that? So it requires that level of questioning of yourself. And many people
And courage.
go there. They
Yeah.
just don't go there.
Well,
So they
a lot of
complain
yeah,
about being disconnected. It's easier
They-
just to complain about it and just stay disconnected.
totally. I think that's what it is. People don't want to question themselves. I had a situation the other night. I called Lynn, and I'm grateful she picked up. I mean, I talked to somebody afterwards, but just giving it to me straightly. It's just straightly. You get it straightly.
Hey,
What the
let's
heck?
make up a word.
Okay,
Woohoo! New words.
let's all make it up. We can do that too. Come on.
Yeah, we
So and it was because of that I had some humble pie, and that was good. I needed another perspective in that moment because my shit was up and I was in it, and yeah, we need each other, So yeah.
Well, having people that love. Cynthia, do a fun round with Linda. Do a fun round.
Okay, fun round time. Linda.
Okay, round.
Linda.
Yeah.
This is a fun round. This is
Okay.
as we're winding down. All right.
Yeah.
Complete these sentences.
Okay.
I laugh most when
I love most when? Is that
I
what you said?
laugh.
Oh. Oh, I laugh most when my husband's trying to be funny.
Trying. I heard that word. He's trying to be okay. People would be surprised to know.
People would be surprised to know that I'm quite a normal, somewhat boring person.
Oh,
No, she's not. No,
yeah,
she's not.
I know. Okay, so here you go. The older I get,
The more wise I become about what is truly important to me.
beautiful. Love is.
Love is those moments when I truly feel the presence of the divine within me and I can share it with others.
Oh, that's beautiful. One last question.
Mm-hmm.
My soul is currently teaching me.
Ooh. Ooh. My soul is currently teaching me that it is safe to be out in the world sharing my truth and my gifts with as many people as possible.
Amen,
Amen,
Thank you.
sister.
Thank you for
Okay,
that.
Linda, one question we ask many of our guests. So another
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
If the whole world could hear one message from your heart, just one, what would you want every human being to know?
Wow. Oh, that you are divine, that you are loved, that you are sovereign, that you are sacred, that you've always been enough, and you will always be worthy in every moment of this life.
That's beautiful.
Oh, honey. That's
So,
beautiful.
Linda, thank you, not
Oh,
just for
you're
sharing
welcome.
your wisdom,
Yeah.
your lovely, lovely soul, human heart, but for reminding us that transformation doesn't have to be dramatic.
Right.
Uh,
That's right.
sometimes it's simply remembering.
That's it.
What offerings would you like to share, and how can a listener contact you?
Great. So the best way to contact me, because I'm a high touch person, would be either sending me an email or actually texting me. That's the quickest way to get a hold of me. I don't mind texting. Calling, don't call. Make sure you text me and tell me who you are and how you heard about me. Right now, I'm excited that I have actually revived a legacy program that I used to offer many years ago called the Soul Journey Program. And it's either a 3-month or a 6-month program where the person connects with me once a month and we do a 90-minute, hour and a half deep dive into whatever in their life, wherever they're feeling stuck, wherever they're feeling they want to grow, wherever, whatever the topic is. In those 3 to 6 months, we meet once a month and we just stay on track with that. The other program that I've been offering over the past couple of years that I have found very powerful for people is a 4-week transformational breakthrough. So we meet every week for 4 weeks. We do a 90-minute deep dive over those 4 weeks over one specific area in your life that you're wanting to deep dive into.
Mm-hmm.
It could be from a family situation to your work, to your career, to a pattern in your life that wants to shift. And I have found such powerful movement that happens from that level of concentration on a specific thing for a 4-week process. And then over the next weeks afterwards, you're actually integrating all of that. And that's when you start to see the big changes. So we're basically hot housing for 4 weeks over a particular area, and then breakthroughs start happening, sometimes during the 4 weeks, but a lot of it starts to shift over the 4 weeks and the weeks after.
Wow.
I love doing 4-week intensives, and I love doing the once a month journey, because some people, that's just what they're needing, that support once a month over a couple of months to get them in the direction they're wanting to go, because that's just what fits for their life at this time. Some people aren't ready for an intensive 4-week. So
Wonderful. So as we're winding down, was there anything else you wanted to say within that?
So I love doing one-on-ones. I love doing classes. So I'm always teaching classes of some sort. Like I said, I'm just finishing this radical intuition class this coming week. So if you are interested in just kind of getting a taste of me, I do these free transmissions of light on the new moon and the full moon. You can just call in for free and listen to the transmission. So the only way that you're going to hear about all this is if you're on my private list. So I have a private email list. So all you have to do is either text me or email me and say, hey, I want to be on your private announcement list, and you'll get all of this information. I don't really put a lot of that out there on the public, in the public world. I really have the people who really want to hear what I have to offer. So I don't just throw it out there. I'd rather just send it to the people that want to hear about it. So if you want to be on my private list to get all this information, all you do is let me know, hey, here's my email, put me on there, and then I will.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
And Cynthia, there's so many people that I know that Linda knows too that dearly, dearly, dearly love her and follow her, and adore her, right?
I understand.
And Linda, just FYI, when after the show's produced, we'll have show notes and we'll put information in there about where people can go to find out info about you. Okay?
Yeah, because right. And for everybody that's been listening, if today's conversation really touched your heart, share it with somebody who could really use another way to think about life, to think about things, about themselves. And be sure to subscribe, leave us a review. It was great, whatever you want to say or not. They were crappy. Now, please don't do that. And join us next time for a wonderful, meaningful conversation. And as Lynn just said, we're going to have show notes, so you're going to have her information. But until then, stay curious, stay open, and remember, there's always another way to think about it.